Welcome back to another video of the European Championships that happened in Berlin last weekend, but we've got another top 4 finisher with us here today. Do you want to introduce yourself very quickly?
Yeah, my name's Mayu, and I've been playing Mayu Turbo.
Yeah, it's a fitting name for your decklist for sure, and it was also the only Machina hero that made top 8, or you could say top 16 at European Championships. So congratulations on that. I think also the first Machina hero in total that topped Ultimate Time Wizard. So what made you choose this deck?
Oh, so the reason why we chose this deck is because I wanted a deck that no one would be familiar with. So once we get onto the deck list a bit later on, you'll see it's not your typical list, and it's got quite a few different changes to what people have traditionally played. So I feel like that gave me an edge because people didn't know how to play optimally against it, and keep people surprised. Yeah.
Then I think let's just dive into the deck list. You can just go through the cards that you think should be mentioned, and if I have any questions afterwards, I'll just ask you.
Sure. So if we start, you've got the standard 3 gear frame, 3 fortress, bread and butter deck, and we've also got the hero engine there, 1 Strauss, 2 Prisma, and then the 2 oceans to facilitate the waters. And the way I've set this deck list up here, if you can see at the top, is like all the sort of 1 card starters that you want to see. So you've got Strauss, Prisma, gear frames, hero, Rotor, Charge, and Future Fusion. So these are all the cards that you can just see one off. You don't care what the rest of the hand is, and it gets you going. You can start playing the game. And then in the stack over here, we've got the sort of supporting cards. So I wanted as much power as I could have in the deck. So I squeezed in Lightsworn, 2 Raikos, Lila, and we've got Cyber Dragons in the main. So this helps to mitigate against losing the die roll going second. And it just synergizes with your deck anyway because they're machines. So you can just discard it for Fortress. Or as you can see further down, we're playing Cyber Alternates as well. So this is something that gives you even more power going second because it lets you activate Cyber Alternate from the hand and just clear the field. So this is something that no one expects. You just start banishing lights from the grave and it just summons and clears the whole field. So that's another card that was a bit different in this deck list. And not only is it like a fortress, you can just discard it and bring back fortress. Yeah, it's what is it, level 10? It's a big level machine. You can just, if it's in the hand, it's not doing anything. Yeah, you just get rid of it, summon fortress out. Then we've got the Miracle Fusions to bring out Ab-Zeros, Gaias, and what else have we got here? Yeah, so we've got BrainCon, MST, Standard. I wanted to put 1 Avarice in there just because I think Avarice is such a powerful card. Like, you resolve that once, it just puts you so far ahead. And like, they think they've got through all your fortresses and gear frames and alternates, and then boom, they're back in your deck and you're ready to go again. So it's a great card to keep the resources alive. And then another card that's a bit different here is Karma Cuts in the main. So I wanted to play some sort of discard trap because some of that hands can be a bit awkward and you don't need all these cards in your hand at all points. So sometimes the Miracle Fusion might be redundant or the alternates might be redundant. So this lets you still gain value from them. And obviously, if you open up with Fortress, then it's not like you're going neg 1. You're loading up the grave with Fortress, which is just going to come back at a later turn. And the reason why they're in the main deck is because it's quite good against the Frog matchup. So in the Mirror matchup and the Frog matchup, it can help clear both the what's the frog that comes back? Treeborn Frog. You can clear both the frog off 1 trap, and it just shuts them down immediately. So if they're not careful game 1, because most time frog players don't expect you to clear the Treeborn Frog, so they might just dump everything. If they do that, they just get super punished and they're just out the game. And then same with like any Machina decks or anything. If they leave any engrave and bring one out, it can just be instant game over for them. So it's just a card that has a super high ceiling and covers the bad matchup. Like you don't really want to play against forks, but if you do, it's all right. You've got this. You can hit the fishborgs or treeborns, and you're good to go. And then if we look at our side deck, we just got so much hate for dark decks. Any dark deck you play, you're so favored. Like you've got the 3 Shadow Imprisoning, you've got the Diners, Consecrated, and the DD Crows. So against Vayu Turbo, Black Wings, or just anything with powerful dark cards, you just chuck them in. It's a smooth game 2 and 3. And then you've got your generic spell and trap remove tornadoes, and then I play Starlight Roads more as a bluff. I just put 1 or 2 in game 2. Most of the time, you're not going to see it, but all it needs to be like it's in the deck, and once you build it off a Raiko, Lila, or Charge, the way the opponents play just completely changes. So they start just fearing popping 2, and they just don't want to play into a Starlight Road. So your games become a lot more safe. Your opponents will start playing a lot more safer than they normally would, a lot more conserved, and it just gives you more time. So usually game 2, I'll put it in. If it gets milled or if it gets popped or triggered, that's fine. My opponent's seen it. Game 3 has come back out. I'll never play game 3. So it's just there for kind of bluff really. And
It's definitely an interesting list, I think. Even if we look at other Machina hero lists that did well, because most of them put Starlight Road in the main and maybe even Trap Stun, but they don't play Kaios, Raiko, Lila.
Yeah. So the way I thought about this was I want to try and clear the way for my fortress to land or my absolute zero to land. I want it to be clean and safe for them to land, because once they land, I'm good. I feel like I'm in such an advantageous position. So the aim was, and also Kai is a super strong card. I just want to play as many powerful cards in this deck as I can, and I just crammed as many as I can. Hence why you've got 4 different engines there. And the reason for making it 42 as well is because of the power level, you have cards you don't necessarily want to see at the start of the duel. So like Oceans, you don't want to draw into. You might not necessarily want to see Eltonins and other cards straight away. So it reduces the chance of seeing these, 2-ofs and such. But another reason for playing all these engines and the sort of size of them is game 1, depending on your hand, um, you can basically represent a you can represent a light spawn deck, you can represent a Vayu Turbo deck, a pure Machina deck, I don't know which thing, or you present like a hero from or hero variant. So you can start with the block. So one of the games I had, I think round 3 or 4, I started with a set Raiko and a set, what was it? Probably just a Dusty or some trap. Raiko flipped over and it milled a Lila, a Torrential, and a Gauze. And my opponent starts playing as if he's playing Lightsworn. And then next turn, I'm just dropping a hero or dropping a fortress on his head, and he's just lost out. So it's situations like that, depending on your opponent and your hand, you can just completely represent any sort of deck you want out of the ones that you're playing. And it will change the way they set the back row or set up their board. Yeah, yeah. So even going into game 2 and 3, they might think that you're just siding to a completely different deck. So first game they saw one engine, second game they'll see a different engine and then just be completely thrown off. So it affects the way they side after game 1 as well, going into game 2 and 3, which gives you a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, one thing that people talk a lot about is the choice of water monsters in Machina Hero. You chose Ocean, Overseer, or Snowman Eater. Is it because he's searchable?
Use the one that's searchable and the minimal amount because once you get one hero, absolute 0 out, it fuels the rest. So you don't really need to worry about having too many waters. I don't want to load the cards up with cards that don't have as much impact. So with like Crystal Sea and things like that, well, options with Snowman need to be an option. I just thought Raiko was a better card. I don't want to get out of the water for the sake of I want to increase the ceiling as much as possible. So with Ocean, I was happy to play 2 Ocean because it just does the job. It's a hero. You can search it, you can dump it, and then off chance it sticks for a turn, you can add back the Stroud trap pop off, which happened quite a few times. So that's the only reason I want to play Ocean. Just on the off chance that it survives for a standoff phase, you add by and then you can clear spell or trap. Yeah. So what I was saying is the Caius just gives you extra flexibility and options to make plays that you wouldn't normally be able to make in a Machina deck. So having that one Caius was just there for flexibility for me.
And it gives you another way to capitalize on the brain control as well, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So then when we look at the side deck, the Lightning Vortex is another card that we can talk about because a lot of top 8 lists at UTW Berlin had that in their side.
It's just there to clear dupe blocks, and just in case I played against something unexpected, combo heavy, especially Gigavice as well. It can be quite good into that if they haven't established a Stardust. But yeah, it's just there for insurance. I just feel safe. And again, it discards cards. So I've got plenty of cards that I'm happy with sending to the grave. So it's not, you know, it's not as bad as it is in other decks when you discard a card.
Now that we've already talked about some specific matchups, maybe you can talk about your bracket if you still have it with you.
I had a wide range of different decks that I played. I've got a list here. So the decks that I played were Hero Beat, Glad Beast, Blackwing, two valued players, and then Gigaplant, Hero Frog, and then Forg in round 8. And then in Top Cut, I played. What did I play in Top Cut? I think it was a Vayu in top 8, and then top 4 was the Vayu, the Blackwing player who eventually won the tournament. So my only loss the whole weekend was to the eventual winner of the tournament. So I think it was very good. And Swiss rounds, I lost to that Blackwing player. So I came third in Swiss, losing to the eventual winner. So yeah, and they were both very close, very close games that went to game 3. But yeah, he was a very good player. I have to give it to him.
What are like good or bad matchups for your build? What would you consider good or bad matchups?
Uh, I think you have a good matchup into most decks. I don't think there's a particularly bad matchup, especially because we cover Vayu. This deck is made to kill Vayu. That's why I call it Mayu Turbo, and it's the Vayu killer. This deck is made to kill Vayu. So yeah, if you have a lot of Vayu decks that you expect to be playing against, this deck is really good into it. Is really good into it, especially once you go into games 2 and 3 with the side deck. It's really just unfair. Like the value players I played, um, I don't really, after game 2 and 3, especially if it even got to game 3. Game 2, it was just they'll see a shadow imprisoning or a Paki fossil diner and or consecrated, and most of the time they've only got a couple of outs in their deck, so they're trying to top deck one of 4 cards or 5 cards, but it's too late. The amount of pressure you just put with your normal summons, and Fortress, it overwhelms them. So I'd say Vayu is probably one of the easiest matchups for sure. And then difficult matchup. I think the difficult matchup is Oppression. Any deck that plays Oppression, because of the way this deck is built, being so, special summon reliant, it can be tough with certain hands. But also, if you're under Oppression, you do have strong beat sticks, normal summon, Gearframe, Stratos, Prisma. But yeah, Oppression is a problem, but that's why we play the multiple Dust, Raikos, Heavy Storm, MSTs to get rid of it. So yeah, I think going into game 2 and 3, playing a deck that usually has Oppression available, you want to max out on cards that will clear it. The round that I lost to the Blackwing player, both game 3s were when he was able to establish an Oppression and I wasn't able to clear it quick enough. So during Swiss, it was yeah. So during Swiss game 3, it was an Oppression game, and in Top Cut, I think game 2 was an Oppression game, and it was just I didn't have the answer for it.
Yeah. And how did you end up at like a 42 card main deck? Is it mainly because you have like 10 very good starters, so you will see them, and you have some garnets as well that you want to leave in the deck? And then also just fitting so many engines in one deck.
Yeah, 42 because I wanted to have. There was too many cards to squeeze in. I wanted to play charge. If I'm playing charge, I need at least 3 targets. And at the same time, there are cards I don't want to draw, like Ocean. I want them just in the deck. And then cards like Avarice, I don't really want to see these cards early, and I want as much chance to see it later on. So I'm happy having a reduced chance of opening cards like Future Fusion, Charge, and Rotor because I have enough starters. So I think increasing the deck count was a nice balance between being able to squeeze all the power cards in and then still retaining the consistency.
And did you still get to see some turn 1 trap dust shoots?
Oh yeah. I was seeing Charge, Future Fusion, Trap Dust Shoot. You still see there's not much. There's actually not that much percentage difference between 40 and 42. It's slim margins. But it just allows me to squeeze more cards into the deck that I want to see. I was definitely still seeing Charge. Whenever I see Charge, Future Fusion, it's so good. It's so good. But you've got so many of these open up, right? That's why that top row, you see any of those cards is good. But then if you see the third row in combination, like Fortress and a Machine, or Elton and a Cyber Dragon, or it's just so many combinations that feel good to start the game with.
Just one card that you'd expect in the extra deck, Chimera-Tech Overdragon. Was it just like an oversight and maybe it should be in there because you can dump Cyber Dragon and multiple fortresses and go for game?
Yes. So this was the deck was put together 2 hours before the tournament. It's not something that was it wasn't something that was trialed and tested, over many hours. On the Friday, I was actually planning to play Hero Frogs, and I played one pod on the Friday, and I don't know, I just didn't feel it, and I wanted something a bit more powerful, and I wanted to play Machina Fortress, and I wanted to play Absolute Zero. So on Saturday before the tournament, me and my friend Edwin, who helps cook all these decks, he's a top chef. We sat down and we basically started putting a pile of good cards together, and we knew we wanted to put Machina. We knew we wanted some sort of light swan engine in there because Raiko is Edison, and we wanted absolute zero. So we put the hero engine in there, and then we wanted something to take it a bit over the top, which is why we started adding the Eltonins and the sort of karma cuts and the gores and the Caius to just take a little bit more. So that's how we ended up with this list. However, in hindsight, I think around round 2 or round 3, I was activating Future Fusion and I had a hand where it was, I think, 2 Force in hand and Elton in. And I was thinking, why don't I have Overdragon? Because I could send all my fortresses right now, and I'll be set for the next, 2-3 turns. I could just be dropping. Yeah, I could be summoning a fortress every turn, if they out it. So yeah, in hindsight, I'm sure there's a lot that can be changed and improved. The first thing I would change is one of the guys for one of these overdragons, just to facilitate that future fusion play.
I mean, probably after a top 4 run, you wouldn't want to change a lot right after, but any immediate changes that come to mind?
Immediately, not really, to be honest. I mean, I think I'd have to play a few more games to get a better feel of the deck. The side deck worked out right. Every card in the side deck was used at some point, so that was fine. Maybe the main deck could be adjusted. I mean, if there's a way to get some trap stuns in there, I might play around with that, test that out. That might be nice. But otherwise, there wasn't anything glaring, where you look at it after 10 rounds and I thought, yeah, this isn't working, or I need to change this. So every card did something, so I was never in a situation really bad. And that's the beauty of playing discard traps, right? You have something that doesn't work in that situation, just get rid of it. I think maybe that. I think maybe the possibility of playing more discard traps, maybe karma cuts and Regeki break or something.
So you have another way to deal
Yeah.
with your most hated card oppression, maybe.
Yeah. Going into game 2 and 3, of course, you've got the dusters as well. But yeah, I think maybe there is a reason to play a Regeki break or in the main try instead of karma cut, because karma cut's very sort of format dependent on what you're expecting to see, right? So Regeki break would be much more versatile for sure, but it doesn't have the same impact against those decks as karma cut can. Because I was expecting, with Europe, people like to play Machina and people like to play frogs quite a lot. So that's why the karma cuts were there, and it against the frog players, it did wonders.
Yeah, and even against like matchups like Gladiator Beast, where you wouldn't consider it to be that strong, you can still get rid of a Bestiary, or you can clear the graveyard for Black Wings if you hit a
Yeah,
Shura and they have to remove
yeah. At
multiples.
worst case scenario, it just gets rid of a body. Like it clears bodies. It's like a deeprism of a cost, right? That you can just chain. So that was the rationale behind it. Like even if it does nothing against the deck, it's going to clear monster on the field.
And it gets rid of Stardust Dragon, even though you have like the best Stardust Dragon out with Fortress, but it still has to
yeah,
connect.
yeah. It's like a flexible deeprism. Yeah.
Something we see a lot of at the moment, especially with decks that run like Stratos and pseudo Stratos with gear frame, is multiple compulsories. Did you consider that?
Yeah, that was there for consideration for sure. But because we have so many like monsters that you're dropping, like if they clear it, it's fine. I've got another threat the next turn. I'm dropping a special summon, so I didn't feel like it was needed. Um, and it's one of those cards where it's not necessarily a plus straight away. You have to wait and then get a plus again or something, right? And yeah. it's a good card, but I didn't want to put it in here. I wanted to focus more on removing the opponent's resources.
Yeah, and it worked out for you. You went home with the oversized Mayu. It's not your first oversized card, right?
Yeah, another one to add to the collection. Hopefully after Worlds, I'll have. I think if I win one at Worlds, I think I'll have 10 in my collection. So I'm going for 10. I'm going for 10.
Whoa.
Yeah. 10 oversized cards.
Might as well open up a private gallery now, right?
I mean, at this point, I'm thinking of dedicating a hallway to the oversized cards to get framed, and you can just walk down this hallway and you'll see all of them. Yeah, because they all have some sort of sentimental, because I've won almost all of them. Especially, I used to play Speed Duel in Europe back when it was still around in 2023, 2024, before they cancelled it, and I actually won four oversized back-to-back events. I think that's a record for Konami. I don't think anyone else, or someone at Konami told me, no one had won 4 oversized back-to-back. So yeah, I've got a nice little
So they
collection.
discontinued Speed Duel because of you?
I mean that's what the rumors were. That's what the rumors were. They said I was just taking all the giant cards and oversized cards, so they had to stop it. Funnily enough, after every single one of the events that I played in, the deck I played got a ban list. So when I was on that run doing the 4 times back to back, I actually ended up having 4 iterations of a beatdown deck that I made. So after every event, the ban list would come out, and then I would have to alter my deck. And I made 4 versions of the same deck that I eventually won with.
Well, good for you that Edison is a fixed format and they can't do that to you now. So will you be playing this deck going on?
Yeah. I mean, this was the second sort of large Edison event I've been to. We just started playing recently. The last event was, the last event I played at was last year when I first tried it out. So yeah, I've kind of got my feet into it now. I'm quite getting familiar with the format. So hopefully the next event I'll be able to produce some similar results.
So you're going to Worlds. You won't be at YCS Lille, I assume.
No. After Worlds, I'm going to be taking a bit of a break, and I'll be back playing next year. So hopefully there's an event. There's Dortmund in February, I think it is. So I'll probably be at Dortmund. Yeah. So I'll probably be at Dortmund. If not, I'll be at the next Euros.
Are you playing Modern at the Worlds or are they doing Edison? I don't even know.
No. There should be Edison events. It's yet to be confirmed, but I'm quietly confident they'll be running something there. So we'll just have to wait and see. But either way, yeah, I will be playing something. If it's not advanced format, it will be either Goat or Edison.
Yeah, then good luck at Worlds and maybe any last shoutouts you want to give, any last thoughts on the deck, anything that you want to say. Now's the time.
Yeah, I want to give some shout outs to all the guys I played over the weekend. I didn't play against anyone. All my opponents were really nice. They had a very sort of professional and friendly, demeanor. So we had some very good duels and some good conversation. So I was very happy about that, because the worst thing you can have is a opponent that's not honourable or doesn't play fairly. So yeah, everyone I played against was very good. There was no issues or anything. Also, I want to give a shout out to you for doing this profile, and also actually coming up with the deck name Mayu Turbo just after the top cut.
Was I actually the first one to come up with
Yeah,
it?
it was. Yeah, you're the first one that suggested it, and then me and my mate were sitting there like, "That's a good name." So yeah, thank you for coming up with the name.
No
And
worries.
also, I'd like to say thank you to Edwin for lending me the cards and being there to support me and spending the time doing the testing, in the room before the event. And the rest of the guys I came on the trip with, Elvis, Alex, Brandon, Alan, and Ben, who were there and supporting the whole way. Yeah, I was just saying with Edison, I think it's a nice format to, I think there's still plenty of room to innovate and try new things because the format's always, evolving. So I think there's still plenty of decks and ideas that are viable, but we haven't seen yet. So I think hopefully if more and more people, enter the format, we'll be able to see some more interesting deck lists. And hopefully see birds well and truly dethroned.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I really enjoyed your approach with like projecting different kinds of decks turn one. I think that's a very smart way of utilizing the meta to your advantage. And yeah, well, thanks again for the video. Thanks again for the opportunity. And I'll see you guys soon on this channel. Team GoPro. Bye.
Thank you.